Aye.
Judge, we are live.
Are we live? Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. It's 10 a.m. We're here for the regular session of Hunt County Commissioners Court. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and ask everyone to rise and ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer, followed by the pledge of allegiance to our flag.
Shall we bow our heads? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life. As we go through this meeting, if you will, give us wisdom, patience, give us knowledge, and let us be righteous in our decisions. In Christ's name we ask these things. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I was talking to poster.
This morning we have Commissioner Hutchins, Strait, Martin, and Harrison present. I'm Judge Stovall. I'll be presiding over the meeting. Commissioners, you have the minutes from December 28th in your packet. I'll entertain a motion for approval of that.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. Commissioners Court will not take action on items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff. They may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course of response. Those that are watching via Zoom, you can go to huntcounty.net and find the banner for comments or questions. You can type in a comment to be read, or you can give us a phone number and we'll call you back later in the meeting. We have James Satterwhite, if you speak, come forward, please, sir.
Good morning, Judge Stovall, commissioners, and distinguished guests. Seems like every day when I top the Audie Murphy overpass, I look at the flags in front of this courthouse and I see them flying at half-staff. As a matter of fact, it seems that they fly at half-staff more than they do at full staff. Don't know why they're flying at half-staff today, but flag protocol dictates 30 days for a president and maybe a vice president. Don't quote me on that. But I suspect it's for a sitting senator. We've had 2 retired senators, Bob Dole from Kansas and Harry Reid from Nevada. Protocol calls for the flags to go back to full staff after the funeral. Again, perhaps who calls that decision when the obscure email comes down from Washington, D.C. should put the date on their calendars when to bring them back to full staff. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thanks, sir. We'll try to do a better job at that. Anybody else wish to speak? Come forward and state your name.
Good morning. My name is Lori Howell. I'm back. I was here a couple of weeks ago with some other homeowners on County Road 2508, and we expressed how unsafe and undrivable our road is. And we're still in the same predicament. We didn't receive any kind of follow-up after speaking that day. So my question is, what do we do from here? How do we know what the game plan is, and how do we get in contact with our commissioner?
We can't talk about it.
Yeah, y'all can't respond back, and no one can return a phone call. So I guess I don't know, like, how do we communicate with our commissioner?
Can I say something, Judge?
Sure.
You are scheduled to go on there. The plant's been closed for the last 2 weeks because of holidays and repairs on the plant where we get our oil sand. So that's what we were dealing with, plus we have to wait on decent weather. and you are scheduled this Thursday and Friday to get your road done.
And when you say the road done, are they just regrading it?
No,
or-
ma'am, we're all sanding the road.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Communication takes, it goes a long way, I appreciate it.
Anyone else wish to speak? If not, we'll close the public testimony. We'll go to old business, final plat of Escobar Estates in Precinct 4. Brian?
This plat was on there last week, guys, or last meeting. This is one that had a big remainder track behind it, and there was some concern about someone came in and tried to buy it and bust it up. It would be conducive to someone trying to do flag lots. Don't want that to happen. So the developer came back and said, well, let's just add that whole remainder track to the plat and call it Lot 5. So now it's got a 28.5 acre Lot 5 back there, but if someone tries to subdivide it, they'll have to replat it, and we'll be able to make sure that they build a road instead of doing flag lots or substandard frontage, so.
Perfect, all right. Thank
Yep.
you. Any questions, Commissioners? None, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Judge, may I say something in reference to this? Mr. Toole, I appreciate the work that you do. I know that you've been busy on this particular one, and like all the others, we appreciate your time that you take to try to get it before us like this. Appreciate you.
All right, Commissioners, you have the consent calendar in front of you. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
You got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action items, approval of accounts payable.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Approval of line item transfer.
Make a motion to approve line item transfers.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Approval of budget amendments.
Make a motion to approve budget amendments.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Approval of payroll and personnel.
Make a motion, we approve payroll and personnel.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item one, we'll have no contract with the volunteer fire department, so we'll continue to work on that. Action item two, presentation of Twin Rotors mission program, equine assisted therapy. Dr. Wheatley, yeah, there you go.
We have a representative from the Lone Star Arena here with us today.
Okay, Let me do a little bit first before we can get started. Commissioners, I was approached by this program. They're working with veterans on equine therapy to help many of our veterans out at equine facility out on the interstate, and they're going to do a presentation, and we're going to talk about maybe helping them out to get started with some funding. So you'll make this a presentation and we'll move on.
All right, absolutely. First, thank you for inviting us today to allow us an opportunity to share what we're attempting to do here in our community. A little personal background on myself. I am a U.S. veteran. I served from 1987 to 1995, U.S. Army, Army Aviation. I was completely unaware that I was suffering from symptoms with PTSD until 2019 after I took a pre-assessment. And so even though I got out of the military in 1995, they never addressed those issues with me, things that I had been confronted with when I was in the military that was causing me a lot of troubles in my life. My husband and I learned after watching the movie Lone Survivor that we had a brother warrior who was killed in action, in Afghanistan. That is the reason for the name Twin Rotors Mission. When you watch the movie, you see the scene where the helicopter is shot down. That was our friend who was on that helicopter that was shot down and tragically killed that day. Moving forward, my team, we've worked with leadership here in Hunt County, asking very specifically, what is your greatest concern of needs for our veterans? And overwhelmingly, everyone expressed mental health. This is when I reached out to the Lone Star Arena to ask if they would be willing to partner with us to help us create a program of which we can help to address the mental health concerns of our veterans. Equine assisted therapy is widely known and supported within the veteran community. It is expressed that we anticipate that at least 600,000 to 1 million veterans suffer from PTSD. Many of veterans who have gone through VA-related programs have had very negative outcomes, in some creating a great deal of mistrust and demoralization. There's over 50% dropout rate when it comes to the VA healthcare mental health services. Compared to the data that we've been able to address with our equine-assisted psychotherapy, has many benefits in reducing depression. It also helps with heart rate variable stress indicators to bring the stress levels down, improvement in brain function, and reduces suicidal ideations. Veterans participating in equine-assisted therapy reporting feeling less isolated, more connected to their peers, and describe improvements in mental health and anger reduction, great self-control, better coping skills, improved self-image, and reduction of anxiety. If we're able to reduce the costs, we reduce a barrier in which we can help veterans to attend these sessions. A major factor is the participation. There is literally a zero dropout rate. When you get them involved, when you get them engaged, they're going to keep coming back for more. One special note with regard to how we're handling this program a little differently than other programs is that from our perspective, we're employing strategies that are known to engage best practice standards. And so I'm going to let Carla elaborate on this a little bit, and I'm going to let her take the microphone at this point to just elaborate on what we're doing and how we're trying to really address that issue. So,
Carla, would you state your full name, please?
My name is Carla Meeks. I'll give you my full name, Carla Deanne Meeks, if you want to know that. I'm actually with the Longhorn Arena, but also with the Mental Health Clinic of Greenville. I'm their marketing director. And so we've actually partnered with the Twin Rotors Mission, I guess it was about a month ago, to try to start the program for veterans. And the idea is to put, we kind of went through a broad range of what we might be able to provide. Best what we could come up with is the equine-assisted therapy. And so what I'll tell you a little bit about, we've also incorporated the veterans that we have within our own mental health institute. So we have Steve O'Neill, which is a veteran. He's been with us, or he was a veteran in the Navy and the Army. He was there for 7 to 8 years. And so he will actually be facilitating those sessions. It's an hour-long session. We will have horses in our arena along with the veterans, and then we will have someone that is primarily just there for the horse. So they read the horse while we have a counselor that reads the people, right? A lot of people aren't aware of what equine-assisted therapy is, and it's a lot different than what you would think of as far as your pet therapy for like smaller animals, because you have a huge animal. It's not a predator, it's a prey. So as far as it's reading us as we're the prey. I mean, we're the predator, the people are. And so what horses do is it's a great mirror image of what is going on internally in someone. They feel it. If you go in aggressive, then they're going to come back aggressively. If you go in and you're docile, then they're going to be that as well. And so it's a true reflection, and that counselor's there to process of what that mirror image looks like. And so the people learn a lot about themselves through that process. And because sometimes you never identify because you're too close of what you're portraying. And so that also, as far as the person themselves gaining that therapy, they're able to really identify some truer issues that are underlining. And I can go into that in more detail if you'd like me to. But we are also helping with Twin Rotors, trying to get more people involved as far as marketing. So for me, I'm on social media quite a bit. I go to forums like this. I'm also going to a lot of networking to get more people involved in the community for the veterans to receive the services that they need. It's on Mondays evenings, and we started on Monday. And so we're just now kind of getting things rocking and rolling.
Okay.
So,
Commissioners, any questions?
Have y'all reached out to Ted Oates, the Veterans Administrator here for the county?
go ahead.
Have y'all worked together?
I have not spoke directly with Ted Oates about this. He's primarily focusing on the claims process, which is a huge issue with our veterans.
Correct. Right, but you know,
administ-
obviously with Ted, you know, he comes in contact with a lot of veterans. I'm a veteran myself of the Army.
Thank you.
And so, you know, knowing to go and talking to Ted, you know, he could help, you know, push people or direct people towards you guys as well.
Yes. So I did look up the website, and I forwarded it to, I meant to forward that to Judge Stovall. Unfortunately, when I went to the website to click on the links of other resources, they're all dead links. They're not going anywhere. And so I have been working directly with the, at one point before COVID, I was working with the Texas Veterans Commission. I had in fact interviewed for a position with them for the women's program, and they hired another individual who had more experience than I did. And I decided after COVID to go a different direction because I wanted to be more readily available to support veterans who are struggling with mental health. I will also say too, we're opening this up to active duty, and if we can get more support, we would very much like to open this up to families, especially given the difficulties that our nation is going through right now and the mental health crisis that is bearing down on us. So we would really like for the opportunity to open this up to families. It does require a separate session, as I understand it. So we can do active duty and veterans the same night, but we have to do families on a different night. So,
Dr. Whitley, may I ask you this? I've heard a lot of good stuff about you, my lady.
This is not Dr. Whitley.
Oh, I thought that was Whitley.
No.
Dr. Watley's with the Mental Health Clinic of Greenville.
Yes.
She's with the,
She's with the Rotors.
She's with who?
Rotors.
I'm with Twin Rotors Mission.
Okay.
So I'm the president and founder of the nonprofit. Dr. Whitley, Watley, she would have been here today, but they've had some, we've had some,
We've had some sickness actually in the clinic itself, so we've
Welcome
had
to our
some
world.
shortage. So now she's like, we're not going to miss counseling people. So I was sent in her behalf.
Okay, I apologize. I have heard some good stuff about Dr. Whitley. In fact, I understand that she becomes highly recommended in the field as far as her being a psychologist. I think that's good.
our courts users.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Our courts use her quite a bit.
Yes,
sir. She's amazing with the children, absolutely.
yes.
Commissioners, this was brought to me, and of course, having a wife that's a horse nut, I guess you'd say, she eats, sleeps, and drinks about horses. So, and she's spoken to me before about, and she knows the benefit of the horses with with handicapped children and mental illness and different situations. So I was approached about this program, and I think you're looking at like $15,000 for the first year. You think is kind of the budget that y'all were looking at? Is that correct?
15,000 would certainly allow us to cover sessions for 50 weeks and potentially add some sessions for families as well.
Okay. And what I had suggested that, you know, I would ask the court to fund $5,000 of it now and let them come back in a couple of months and give us a report of how it's going, it's getting the participation levels, and then we'd look at addressing some more of it at a later date. And today, we probably won't take action on it, give us time. The commissioners are just now hearing about it, but that's kind of my thought, that and if we need to talk about it more, we can, but I'd like for the court to think about it, and maybe let's fund part of it, and you know, if we can do something to help our vets, I think that's great.
May I ask you this? You said that you've talked to the Veterans Administration of Texas and all this. May I ask this right here, do they have monies available that they can direct in reference to this to veterans?
Are you talking about the Veterans Administration, or are you talking about the Texas Veterans Commission?
I'm talking about either one I can find out from.
Well, we're certainly investigating all of our options about where funding can come from. I do know that Texas Veterans Commission, it was very interesting how I learned this, but when they look at the overall quota and ratio of where our veteran populations are, for example, Hunt County, we are home to approximately 7,000 veterans. They determine the needs of the veterans or where their monies are going to go based on who applies and what the money is going towards. Well, at the time in Hunt County, we did not have a nonprofit that was operating that could even apply. We are in a position where we could apply. Now,
Y'all were able to do this as of last year, correct? Or recently, 2021?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Y'all are able to do this in reference to this last year, what y'all did in reference to getting the ability as a, yes.
Right. So we were formally recognized as a 501c3
That's right.
nonprofit in July
That's right.
of last year, yes.
That's what I was asking.
Well, obviously, I'm all about supporting the veterans. I would like to get with you sometime, because there are a couple of groups in Hunt County that helps out the PTSD and the mental side of it with fishing and stuff like that. And, you know, they've tried to find some equine stuff as well around and hadn't had much luck. So I'd like to be able to link you two together sometime and work together on that as well.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much for coming today, and we'll get this on the agenda next time and talk about it some more. We appreciate you coming today.
All right, thank you.
You bet, thank you. Okay, action item number 3, a presentation on the recommended Hunt County Thoroughfare Plan. Eddie, we got the right one up? We do. All right.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to review the development of the plan. It's been a good 12, 14 months in the development of this plan. We're on schedule, even though we went through a big COVID session there. But thank you to not only the Commissioners Court, but to the Transportation Steering Committee led by Dee Hilton on helping to get the project across the finish line. The plan map, the document, and this presentation has been previously submitted to the county. It's online, so it's been available. I know the plan and the document has for at least 30 days. And so, copy of the plan, draft plan map, and key recommendations are available there on the back boards on the easels if there's anyone who'd like to peruse those or any questions after the Commissioners Court meeting today. I'm Edmund Haas. I served as the project manager for the development of the plan. We did have a team of transportation staff within Freese & Nichols working on those. Unfortunately, Brian Crooks could not be here today, but kudos to him for helping to really put a lot of the technical work into the study. This plan really represents an update, if you will, to the 2012 plan that was developed by NCT-COG, North Central Texas Council of Governments. They developed a regional plan that addressed Hunt County mobility needs. This plan was more involved, more in depth, and so I'm going to highlight some of the key elements of that. But one of the key takeaways of this plan is that it forms a framework for the ultimate network of the transportation, the vehicular roadway network. It's aimed at being a guide. It's a high-level network that's been developed, a functionally based network that's been developed, coordinated with city plans, coordinated with adjacent county thoroughfare plans. And this plan is really aimed at acting as a guide for you all, the Commissioners Court, as you receive development applications and processes for development, that you consider that the thoroughfare plan as part of the discussion. You know, as development continues to occur within Hunt County, obviously a lot of growth pressure and follow-on congestion is occurring. This plan, which is aimed at a full network of improvements long-term through at least year 2045 and beyond, is aimed at addressing what those long-term mobility and coordination needs might be. So as a guide, you all will hopefully be able to reference this as you hear these development applications. And the key thing out of that is it's aimed at preserving right-of-way. You know, we're not implementing the whole thoroughfare plan all at one time. It's going to happen over time as the development processes occur, as the county bond program continues to be implemented and key projects from the bond program are implemented. This document is aimed at defining the alignments, general alignments, and the associated right-of-way with these corridors. So rubber's going to hit the road as development applications come before you. This plan contains design standards that are more robust than the county requirements identified per state legislature. So you'll have different classes of roadways that require right-of-ways that are up to 120 feet for arterial class facilities. So as you hear these development proposals and there's the dedication of right-of-way, you know, development applications, they'll have to submit half of right-of-way from center line, things like that. It's going to be a little bit more robust. The question inherently will come up, why are we donating right-of-way now for something that may not be implemented? Well, the cost of land and for these corridors long-term can either pay for it now or pay for it later. And so that's why we're thinking about this whole thing in toto as it relates to the long-term roadway network. As a policy guide, it's not only aimed at informing agencies of what's the intent of Hunt County, it's also aimed at informing the public being the general public as well as the development community. This long-term network is the envisioned network. Hopefully the development community looks at this, incorporates this into their planning as they're developing land throughout Hunt County. So it's critically important not only for the development process, but also for continued capital programming. The bond program has done an excellent job of implementing key corridor needs, addressing congestion, safety, mobility, et cetera. This is the impetus for continuing the bond programming and development of your thoroughfare network. Kind of highlighting here the key elements of the plan development, data gathering, issues, needs, and identification through plan development, and then obviously plan review and adoption. At the outset of the plan, we did have a significant amount of stakeholder engagement by way of stakeholder interviews. Over 2 days, we met with leadership throughout many of the communities here in Hunt County to understand what some of the key issues and needs were. We met individually with the commissioners, just so we'd had a handle on what are some of the growth issues, needs, pressures, et cetera, as we go through the plan development. Then more importantly, under the plan development in July, we had a session of town hall meetings. In July, we met in Greenville, and we also met in Caddo Mills to roll out the draft plan at the time, receive comment on that. We did get comments. We took those back to the shop, incorporate some of those things into our final plan. Throughout the process, we also worked with, as I mentioned, the Transportation Steering Committee. This committee, we met 3 times over the process, at the initial for key issues and needs, reviewing the plan development in the draft that we prepared, and then more importantly, commenting on the final recommendations that the plan contains. So they were critically important, and thank you, Dee, for all your leadership on that plan. It was very well, a very active committee that provided great feedback throughout the process. Here's an image from the Herald Banner back in July of one of the town hall meetings. I believe this is the one that was in Greenville. But we were able to engage with the public. Not too many folks came out in Greenville, but we had a bigger crowd out in Caddo Mills to comment on the plan, answer the questions about why we're doing this plan, et cetera. And one of the comments we heard, or that I hear repeatedly, is, why are we doing this? We live out in the county. We moved out in the county for a reason, to get away from everything. Well, that growth wave is catching up, and that growth wave will take over. If you don't plan proactively, you can plan reactively, and it'll be a lot more expensive in a reactive mode. So this plan will help be the impetus for addressing some of the growth pressures and needs. The engagement was really kind of a key cog to all the components in the plan development. Key to that really was, establishing a vision. What's the vision of this Thoroughfare Plan? There was a vision statement as part of the 2012 plan. Key principles in there, we've refined it, and I'll read it for you, for the public that's out there watching online. And that is that Hunt County will feature a system of thoroughfares and corridors that promote multimodal mobility, connectivity, and safety, maintains and improves our existing infrastructure, supports future growth, and leverages economic benefit to sustain the long-term viability in a fiscally responsible manner. Together, these ideals will help promote Hunt County as a special place to live. We formulated a series of, those were the goals, a series of objectives and action items built around all those things. But these four categorical areas of leveraging your existing infrastructure, fiscal stewardship, economic benefit, all those were thought as throughout the process, but then more importantly, action items to address these things as you contemplate strategic transportation initiatives in the future. By way of data collection and analysis, there's some images there of all the various things we looked at. Demographic growth, we looked at the regional model, the forecasted growth, the anticipated changes in forecasted traffic volume, input, congestion levels, et cetera. All that fed into our analysis, our technical work that went into the plan development. Then also, we had an online survey. Given that we had the COVID, we wanted to make sure we were reaching out. We asked for input. You may remember this flyer that was sent out electronically. We had a lot of folks that were engaged, over 600 residents of Hunt County engaged in the plan, covering a variety of topics in dealing with mobility, trucking, intersection improvements, things like that. We got a lot of good statistics out of it, but this is a kind of a synthesis of the kind of input we received, whether it were the concerns were dealing with intersection concerns, congestion areas, roadway safety, and or trucking issues. So we've got a lot of positive feedback on this map of how you as the Commissioners Court can use this in long-term addressing key issues and needs. But for us, as part of thoroughfare planning, this helped to set the stage for some of the key network issues that were going to be needed long-term. By way of observation, the connectivity is the primary issue. Connectivity and safety. Right now we're bottlenecked through I-30, through 380. If we have a supporting network, we're able to not only provide accessibility and circulation for our county residents, but then more importantly, creating this broader network to reduce key congestion areas as growth and development continues to occur. We see auto dependency continuing. In the short term, it'll always be here, but now with a lot of folks being preference for remote work, we see that being a dynamic component to the plan, but more importantly, the interconnectivity travel patterns are going to continue to grow. So the plan that we've developed, incorporates things like Collin County, connectivity to key arterials that have a connection to the outer loop. Those kinds of things we incorporated with the Rockwall, the Coffin County Thoroughfare Plans. Those are all key in establishing some of the county connectivity patterns that we needed. Okay, so the plan started with the municipal thoroughfare plans. Those were Hoyle. We didn't want to go in there and tinker with the work that the cities, your municipalities have done. We were working on the area outside of those We incorporated the initial NCT COG plan as kind of a basis, but then along with all the other analysis and the growth and development patterns that we'd received, we took our work from there. You'll notice the network there in the center image is kind of thin. Our new plan is a little more robust. It's a functionally based plan that has arterial class facilities aimed at moving traffic cross-county, down to a collector network, which is really aimed at moving traffic at a sub-area connections level between neighborhoods, et cetera. But you'll notice that on the western side of the plan, it's more dense. It's more dense for a reason. It's dense because of the growth and development that continue to occur in the west and southwestern portions of the county. And it's by design. We brought in a thicker level of network to the east of 34 generally. You can see it less dense, but it's kind of set up that as that growth wave continues beyond 2040, 2045, that the plan can be amended, and it should be amended periodically to address need, but you'll have your base network there in place for continued development. A couple of key highlights of the plan. And there's key east-west connections, there's key north-south connections that we think are critically important. We'll highlight those in the recommended short and midterm recommendations. But by way of connectivity, obviously you want to leverage all the work on the I-30 corridor, the future expansion of the I-30 corridor, east of Greenville, long-term with not only the anticipated grade separations and access points, but other key east-west connections in the north there. There's kind of one that stretches all the way from the county line on the west over to Commerce. That's kind of a key east-west corridor that we see, in addition to enhancement of 380. That's a corridor that TxDOT will be undertaking study hopefully soon. But 380 is going to be a key corridor, but some of the other supporting corridors, sorry about that, is this east-west connecting corridor that combines county roads like 1107, 1040, 4507, 4506, all the way over to Commerce. Other key corridors that we wanted to focus on, not only are east-west, but north-south. On the western edge, there's a combination corridor of FM 36, County Road 1128, 2748, 2730, that ultimately connects down to FM 35 in the southern part of the county. A key north-south corridor in the western sector. Over in the eastern sector, State Highway 24, that we see as a critical linkage down to FM 513, down through Live Oak, and then ultimately to State Highway 276. That's just kind of high-level stuff, but you can see through the network the lines of reds and blues. That's your arterial network that long-term, that's going to be moving, providing key corridors of movement for your motoring public long-term. In the southern sector, a couple of key corridors that I want to highlight here are the FM 6 project, which is just west of Josephine and Caddo Mills area, that connects with FM 1903 to State Highway 34, extends further to the east through County Road 3306 to US 69. That's going to be kind of a key connection for the southern sector, in addition to State Highway 276. The Quinlan bypass, don't know what the timing is of the completion. I think it's fairly soon. August, summer, late summer. Okay, so that bypass will be critical, but that corridor is a key corridor for continued monitoring as growth and development occurs in the far southern sector of the county. Again, that north-south corridor, there's another one there that's FM 1565 aligning with FM 986 down in Poetry and Kaufman, another key north-south corridor. So you can see these key connections. Some will be easier than others. We've got environmental issues dealing with, but the idea is that from a high level, we identify these key corridors, and then as the design process starts, as we start implementing detailed corridor studies, some of the finer grain information and details are ironed out. Okay? I mentioned a functionally based design standard set. Here's some imagery from the plan that kind of highlights what some of the corridors might look like, from rural arterial class facilities, undivided to divided, to connections with urban areas that may have it divided with a concrete curb and gutter type section to some of the more formalized corridors within each of the municipalities. There is a design standard table that kind of details some of the design criteria from the urban and rural sections but that's the kind of stuff that you all will be undertaking. Key item there, fourth column from the left, right-of-way. As you hear the development proposals and you look at where those development proposals are relative to that thoroughfare network, what are going to be some of the right-of-way needs for that area. By way of project phasing, this is just more of information. You know, all the corridors aren't going to be implemented at once. It's phased over time. You might have an existing corridor that we're showing on the top layer. There's an existing corridor that if ultimately that's an arterial that's long-term a 4 or 6 lane, as development occurs, you build one half of the side of the corridor on the other side of your right-of-way, then you come in and build the ultimate section through the center. Just kind of showing how phasing will occur. Not all of them are this clean because your right-of-way, the roadway may be in the center of the right-of-way, but it's just an idea of how phasing can occur in implementing some of these corridors. Okay, key recommendations by way of near, short-term. The near-term are those highlighted in yellow. These are corridors that there should be a critical focus on. Roadways like County Road 2730, FM 6, FM 1903, FM 1565, FM 513. Those are all key corridors that we think need to keep an eye on as growth and development continues, so that a follow-on as corridor studies and some of the engineering can get done to implement these roadways. Midterm type projects, these are projects 7 to 15 years, somewhere in there. Those are highlighted in blue. Again, key corridors that focus on not only FM 36 and 1565, but 1565, but also 1562, a combination of County Road 696, 2727, and a whole range of others, FM 35. Those highlighted in blue are other corridors that may elevate to critical need as the growth and development continue to occur. And then finally, those corridors highlighted in green, those are corridor studies that we think you ought to be looking at now. Obviously, State Highway 34, that's under planning by TxDOT, but there's other key corridors that need to be focused on as growth and development occur. The 380, the 69, that east-west corridor, primarily because we want to stay in front of the growth curve and how some of these corridors get implemented. We also have a series of, here's one other plan recommendations for the grade separations. This really brings in the work from TxDOT on the I-30 corridor, your interchange locations versus grade separations, anticipated locations along 380. We're kind of identifying where we think optimal locations might be. Hopefully TxDOT takes this into consideration as part of their design process. Also key locations on US 69. All this aimed at leveraging this regional the regional highway network there. Other key recommendations by way of policy. Number one, right out of the chute, is administering the Thoroughfare Plan. As you all make decisions on development, if there's a change to the Thoroughfare Plan, you need to stay on top of addressing how that plan has been amended so that you have the latest and greatest up on the website, or if there's some analysis that needs to get conducted as a part of a development consideration, that all needs to be funneled through the administration of the Thoroughfare Plan. Key item number 2, get the plan incorporated into the NCT-COG Regional Mobility Plan. This document, if approved, is Hunts County vision of the network. Want to get that over to Michael Morris and NCT-COG so they can incorporate that into the regional network by way of travel demand modeling, all those other things going towards implementation of corridors. Obviously, continued coordination with TxDOT for the plan recommendations so they can consider that as part of their transportation improvement program and other planning. Finally, prioritize traffic impact analyses as part of your development process. You know, development may be occurring here in the county, which seems like it's way away from everything. There's traffic associated with some of these bigger developments. We want to make sure that some of the mitigation measures are there, or at least there's an insight to what some of the issues might be as part of growth, development, and then the required mitigation to address those. Okay, a couple of other further studies here. Continue to leverage the commuter rail study, the Greenville, the old NETEX corridor, how that may get implemented potentially with commuter rail or other movement of freight. Look at freight and intermodal planning, the Celeste bypass study, those among other recommendations for potential shuttle service, mobility hubs, transit, micromobility, those kinds of things that we've identified in the plan. All in all, the document is a very robust document with action items and policy directives that we think will serve Hunt County well long-term into the future. With that as the brief overview of the presentation, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have regarding the plan. But thank you very much for the opportunity to assist in the development of it.
Thank you, Eddie. Dee, you got any comments before we start asking questions? And
You shouldn't have asked. No, I'm real encouraged that this will go to 2045, and then I'll be 99 in 2045.
well, you'll still be here.
So I won't, no, I won't. But it was
We'll have to try it again.
Maybe that was a hint, Dee.
You stand there and I'll talk. The steering committee was involved with Freeze and Nichols quite extensively, and you named us as the coordinating entity, so we spent quite a bit of time looking at this, and as the plan developed, I would say the most important thing here, in addition to safety, which is always, very, very important in any transportation plan, looking at safety issues, but the most important thing here is your ability to manage development and to secure and maintain right-of-way based on what could be, and probably in most cases what will be. And obviously now is the time to manage that and secure that right-of-way. It'll be needed because, as all of you have seen, as development takes place, right-of-way is taken up, and then when you have to secure it later, it comes at a price. And I think this is a great way to communicate with people that plan to develop that these are the plans, and please plan around that. And I think that this gives you a real leg up on really providing for the future. And so the recommendation to Judge Stovall from the steering committee is that this be adopted.
Thank you, Dee. Just so the public knows, we started this, like I said, about a year ago. Part of the reason and rationale for it was that under state law and our subdivision rules, all we could ask for is a 60-foot right-of-way. Even if we had a road plan, we couldn't ask for more than 60 foot unless we have a thoroughfare plan. So with a thoroughfare plan, that allows us to have the ability to require developers to give us additional right-of-way and or build those additional roads. So it's not on the taxpayers' back to have to pay for those things. So it's very important that we do that. Plus, with the growth we're getting, we've got one right now, 400-lot subdivision in a preliminary plat stage that's not having to put a 60-foot road in where we needed 120 foot. It's on the outside of their boundary, but because we didn't have this approved and it's not public at the time that was even done, we're going to lose a little bit of right-of-way there. And so it's really important, and it's important that we keep the public where they can move north and south, east and west without having to go a great way out of their way to get there. Because there's the corridor across the north part of the county going east and west, if you live in Commerce and you need to go to Celeste, it's about a 40-minute drive from what I've told. There's no easy way to get from point A to point B. And we want to be sure to be able to connect over to the counties to our west. With all the growth on the west, we've got to connect to Collin County and Rockwall County, and Kaufman's growing well too, so down to the south. And one thing that's important to me is being a business owner here for 38 years, if we continue just to let all the roads get pushed west, we're losing a lot of business that could come to our businesses in Hunt County. So if we can get our thoroughfares where it makes it easier to come back towards our businesses in Hunt County, I think it benefits all of Hunt County. So there's a lot of reasons for doing this. I thank everyone involved, Dee and the steering committee, and Freeze and Nichols for their hard work. It's been a long year with a lot of work behind it, and I think we've got a product to be proud of. And it's a living document. It's lines on a map. It will change over time, but it gives us a plan to where we can make it work going forward, even if it changes a little bit as we go. Commissioners, you got any comments or questions?
Dee, I would like to thank you and your committee, because I tell you what, I can't remember what year that y'all came out and came before this commissioner's court, but I tell you what, you've always been there. And we appreciate, and the citizens appreciate what you've done for them. And a lot of them don't really know. But we thank you.
Anybody else? Now I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the Hunt County Thoroughfare Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank y'all. Action item 4, action item 4 and 5, we're not ready to do. We'll have to table those. Let's see, let's skip. Let's skip to number 52, the request of a variance to delay the completion of the road in Elizabeth Estates in Precinct 3. Brian, you want to brief us on this first, and then we'll ask.
This is a multi-phase development that's been going down in Lone Oak, Elizabeth Estates. They've got a road in, they've got the base in. Now they're to the point where they're ready to hard surface the road in asphalt. And they are asking a variance on time frame for the completion of the road with the asphalt surface. So that's where we're at now. And y'all should all be familiar with Elizabeth down there in Lone Oak. We've had it here several times before, so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank Brian. For those that don't know that are here, this is Brian Toole. He's our Community Development Director. He's an employee of the county. Anyone who's going to speak on this, come forward and give your name, please.
Morning. Robert Wyatt. I'm asking for a variance because I'm concerned if we put asphalt down now, after we get done building, it'll be destroyed. So we're wanting to wait to put the asphalt down until we get done building in there.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all it.
Okay, thank you.
Don't have to do it twice.
I understand. Just so you know, I mean, my concerns and my problems with your request is that, we've done this in the past through the last many years, and what happens is, and we have cases where they never got built, and with our new subdivision rules, the way it's working, we're not asking for a performance bond from y'all. So, and those are, according to the developers, have told this court that that's extremely expensive for them to get a performance bond. So the way around it that helps both the developer and us is, representatives of the taxpayers of Hunt County, is that we don't file the plat, so nobody can sell lots and they can't build houses until it meets our standards.
Yes, sir.
So if we grant you a variance, then you can start building houses, and we have no performance bond, and we have no way of guaranteeing the public that that road's ever going to get built. The advantage is for you, and I see no harm to y'all. Y'all build it, we accept the road, you give us a maintenance bonds, and y'all are out of it.
Okay.
So there's no liability to y'all as a developer. And anything that happens would come back through your bond, is the way I see it.
Okay,
And
so if I do put the asphalt down, get the bond, and the road gets destroyed,
your bond company, you're going to be dealing with your bond company.
okay, okay. So there's no way around it.
I mean, I'm just one vote, so the court will discuss it, but that's my input on it, is in response to your request. I don't think that meets our goals.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about lumber trucks and concrete.
I am too. We all are concerned about it. It tears up our county roads going into it and everything. We just go out to the west. That's why we're having so much trouble with the roads in the west side of the county. The big trucks are just wearing those county roads out. So we're fully aware of it, but, what we've done with our rules is trying to help both the developer and help the county both to protect, the taxpayers, so.
Okay, well, if y'all
Okay.
want me to put it down, I'll put it down and get a bond then.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, you got any questions?
Yes, I would like to make a statement in reference to this. We've been going on this, the preliminary plat was turned in 2016. We got phase 1 and phase 2. Basically, this is phase 3. In fact, they just concluded, I believe it was last week or the week before, in reference to possibly getting the 8 to 9 inches in reference to gravel underneath. We're going to have to stick, in my opinion, with the rules and regulations that we put out in order to protect the public. We don't want what has happened in the past, as you said, has taken place. We did not require you to put a performance bond up and all that, and therefore, if at the last you would not have any dealings with it because it'd be gone. You'd have sold the property. And so we have to protect the citizens, and that's why these rules and regulations were put in. I know I'm saying exactly what you did, but in reference to it, I would not be for giving a variance in reference to this.
Any other commissioner got a comment? If not, I'll make a motion to deny the variance.
Second.
Got a motion, second, any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carries. Thank y'all for coming. Sorry, but I think it's in everybody's best interest. Action item 53, public hearing, possible to take action on replat of Lot 20 of Hyde Park Estates in Precinct 2. Brian?
This is a replat of an existing subdivision. It was done a long time ago, fronts 276 down there, between Quinlan and Union Valley. Everybody's got ample frontage. I haven't had any calls, comments, emails, or anything regarding the replat with the public notice that went out to everybody, all the neighbors and everybody in the platted subdivision. So,
Did we get that additional easement across the front?
I spoke with the developer or the representative this morning stating, hey, we've got a 20-foot easement across the front as it is, but it is designated to cache water. We want to make sure that there aren't any issues with other utilities coming through there and getting too close to the cache water line or what have you. So along state highways, state right-of-ways, we've got a 50-foot build line anyway. If they give us an additional 15 or 20 foot for a utility easement, it's not going to affect the development. They can't build out there anyway. So.
Were you okay with it? Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of one of those things. Just make sure everybody's covered. Don't know if cash would be conducive to letting.
But just another entity everybody has to work with. It'd be cleaner not to have to do that.
That's right.
And if they want to, that's fine, but that doesn't stop them from doing something. So, are you okay with 20 feet? Okay.
And that still gives 10 feet between the easement line and the build line, so it's not gonna hamper anything.
Okay. All right, this time I'll open it up to a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak for or against the replat of Lot 20 of Hyde Park can come forward and state their name. No one wishing to speak? Let's see, let me check, make sure there's nobody been on the line. No, okay. At this time, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, I'll make a motion to approve the replat of Lot 20 Hyde Park Estates in Precinct 2 with the requirement that they add an additional 20 feet for a total of 40-foot of easement across the front of the property.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Okay. Jump back over. Okay, we're going to do 5 through 11 as one motion in approval or disapproval. A request to construct and placement of fiber which may consist of both underground and aerial attachments to existing poles on County Road 1096, 1107, 1125, 1127, 1129, and 1170 in Precinct 1.
Judge, that's 6 through 17. You included 5.
Do I now?
You included 5 through 17.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 through
17.
6 through 11 is all we're going to do at
6 through
once.
11, okay.
Yeah, 6 through 11, sorry.
Judge, I make a motion we approve these with under the usual stipulations.
Okay.
Second.
Been a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll do 12 through
17.
12 through 17.
I believe that's correct.
Okay. A request to construct and placement of fiber which may consist of both underground and aerial attachments to existing poles on County Road 2726, 2738, 2740, Forest Avenue, 4th Street, and Lake Avenue in Precinct 1.
Make a motion we approve these, Judge, under the usual stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll do 18 through
49, I believe that's correct. 18 through 49.
18 through 49, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A request to construct and placement of fiber which may consist of both underground and aerial attachment to existing poles on County Road 3106, County Road 3107, County Road 3111, County Road 3112, County Road 3115, County Road 3116. That one's in there twice. County Road 30. Do what? Okay. County Road 3116, 3127, 3128, County Road 3129, County Road 3130, County Road 3131, County Road 3131, Mud Road, County Road 3133, County Road 3134, County Road 3139, County Road 3140, County Road 3208, County Road 3209, County Road 3210, County Road 3211, County Road 3213, County Road 3213, County Road 3214, County Road 3229, County Road 3230, County Road 3307, County 3008, County Road 3524, Canvasback Road, Mallard Drive, Sundown Road, County Road 25, what?
Yeah, right there.
That's it.
Sundown Road is the last one.
Okay, thank you. All right, entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we allow this construction with the normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. When I get on a roll, I just got to.
You did good.
And for the public, this is being requested by Spectrum, so they are putting in overhead fiber to the rural parts of the county right now. So parts of the county where this fiber is being run on our county roads, being attached to whatever power lines are there. I think some of it will be underground also, but we're getting quite a bit of fiber around the county through Spectrum. Action item 50, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities across County Road 2548.
Make a motion, we approve the request of electrical power distribution on County Road 2548 under usual stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item 51, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities across County Road 3512 in Precinct 3.
I make a motion, we allow this construction with the normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, Becky, what did I forget? Did I get them all?
You tabled two,
Two,
tabled four, you tabled five.
well, two, we're gonna we're just gonna put it on, for action next time. And 4 and 5, Daniel said we're not ready for presentation to the court, so they'll go on the next agenda under old business. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay, you've been watching Daniel?
Judge, if you,
Nobody's been online? Nobody's sent us anything? We'll see if anybody's had a question or comment online.
Judge, I see that Chief Biggers is with us today, and he presented me with this report. I believe he presented to the other commissioners as well. I know it's not on the agenda as an action item. I don't know if it would be appropriate for him to address
If
it.
it's not on the agenda, we can't talk about it.
I'm sorry?
If it's not on the agenda, we can't talk about it.
Okay. If this is something he would like to present in the future, then I recommend we,
Yeah, let Jessica know so we can sure get it on the calendar. And Jessica, it's on the quarterly report on the first meeting of the quarter, is that correct? We need to mark that on our calendars, make sure we get it on our agenda for the first meeting of each quarter for a presentation from the volunteer fire departments.
No comments.
No comments? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session under number one.
So moved.
second.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We're in executive session at 11:01.
We're up.
All right, it's 11:54, we're back in regular session. Is there anything else before the court today? Being none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, we're adjourned at 11:54. Let's see.
Daniel, we good?
End.